5. Um, there were three characters that were main characters. One was the son, two was the father. We have several people like this that we're going to be talking about. But let's get deep into the word. Luke 15, 25, it reads, "And now his elder son was in the field. And, um, and as he came and drew nigh to the house, he heard music and he heard dancing." Angry, which we're talking about the oldest son. He was angry and would not go in. Therefore, came his father out and entreated. Dad thought he was dead. He was dead to most people, which he went off and he was very free willing with his inheritance. He gave it away to as so he returned. Sort of say, and you go out and you do your thing. The most thing about the Christian church, a lot of people are ashamed to come home. When you move out and try, but one more thing that you do not need to do is be ashamed to come home. A lot of people have left church and they're ashamed to come home and home within themselves. And your brother is asking, why is he here? He doesn't deserve to be here. They don't deserve to be here. So this is the attitude that the brother is displaying in this passage. This unnamed person was this with my friends. But as soon as thou son come, glad that their brother was dead and is alive again and was lost. So when you come back into the kingdom of heaven, God is going to rejoice for you. arms when they want to come back to God. Squandered all of his inheritance off that his father had worked all his life to have. Now, always there with his arms wide open. So, one thing you must identify, that he was probably one of these people who were in the church. When are you going to sit out and say, hey, good job? You know, let's speak of the attitude that he's displaying to his father. Person who stays home and takes care of a sick parent, or stays home with a parent, and the other child goes away, may go to college, may go get a job, may go to try to capture some opportunity in their life, and the parent just loves them when and the other child gets jealous when they come home. It's not the fact that they just love them more than you; they miss them because they haven't seen them. They're worried about them. You know, the person, you know, that purpose in your life and show you that, hey, this is you, your destiny is before you if you put the work in. All these blessings that you over here, because maybe they've been some faithful servants, or maybe God has a situation that you have. It's no containment label on things. In step C, this man who lost it all, of course, he was shameful. He had a lot. Probably had it because it was his dad's inheritance. But then we have the father who wanted, who is probably is the oldest son, who worked all day. He stayed at home. He helped his father when his father. He ran all the errands. He knows the ins and outs of a mindset and an attitude that you're not going to be a hater. You're going to be someone who's going to help then when somebody come in through those doors, they sitting there frowning like, whoa, they be drinking and smoking or whatever. People who drink and smoke, they love. His father is sitting there and trying to bless both of them. And yes, a fattened calf will be. They should be congratulated when they're and they have a home to go to. And so many times in the churches today, people are have no growth at all. So you have to get out of the confinements of the church and start blessing people who are. A building is not important. That people are important. And they're saved. We become selfish and ungrateful and arrogant and his prize. And when we so arrogant to think that God is just mine, myself, yes, I'd have to bless this person who's been out there and doing crazy stuff. You once was that person, but now you've turned. Somebody else received the goodness of. So when the sick comes in, you transfer from shame on what they did in the past, not to make them feel uncomfortable. Those who are judgmental and hate to see others come into grace, it's those people out there who are sick mentally and fit and spiritually. They need to so what we must do is leave off of home base. What makes you comfortable and get a little uncomfortable. And by Jesus in chapter 16 on that you can't serve what to do with the tithes. Well, that's your problem. You sit there and rob God all my money. What if God would give you a blessing, which He does all the time, and He won't even give, and you won't even give the 10. And thinking on the other side, what are they going to do with the blessings that God has blessed me with? In order to get more, you must clean your closet out. You must have had is we have the eldest. I have somebody here to look out for you. We have step up and take the challenge as God has placed before you. God has placed a great challenge and a great purpose and a destiny. People who just sit at home, sit in their churches, and show people how to fish. Of everything. So many of us, we let our brothers suffer or in the past. I don't home. Come back home. And guess what? We're going to throw a party for you when you come back home. Treat it like a prince or a princess. When you come saying that, hey, welcome home. I'm so glad you're here. You need thereof are great to be within the kingdom. So you got to go out and capture. You got to go out and thing for yourself. You're not being be a judgmental church. Show them how good God has. Show them at home. The mentality of people need to have their flowers when they're living. So having 100 sheep, if he loses one of them, does he not leave? All the troubles, all the strife, all the hating that you've been going through, all the people who've been judging you and looking at you as though you taking it to the cross. Your victory has already been won. It's just your acceptance. God to them, rejoice with me, for I have found that were saved or pastors up there showing the person who comes but thank God for mama and grandma who've been praying percent. When you let the enemy get in your mind, scramble eggs. You can't up on them. Keep pushing them. You have a lost straggler out there to protect them because you need somebody to come after you. I got your back. You need to church. Because guess what? We're not a judgmental place. Guess what? Everybody loves Jesus. I don't care if you smoke. Ten 10,000 tattoos tatted on you when it comes to God. After a long time, he called together his friends. though they are royalty. They need to come back to the throne. They are ashamed to come back. And don't make them be ashamed. Don't judge them when they love yourself. Arms. And for you judgmental Christians and you stuck in your ways, get up off your little lazy self and welcome these people back. Don't be sitting there judging them when they try to come back to Jesus, talking about, look at them over there smelling like a mental all the time. What is your problem? Nah, you can't be like that. You have to be a person who is non-judgmental and with open arms, welcoming your brother. They're sitting out there, they may have failed in college. They may have failed a test. They may have failed a lot of things. But your past does not make you. You've been stronger. So you can go out and educate people on things like what I used to do or who I used to be. Yeah, that used to be me. That's not me anymore. So it's your responsibility to teach people and not make them feel ashamed to come home. Next week at 10 o'clock. This is Pastor David, Destiny Christian, Houston.